I'm Courtney and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already watched it, I suggest checking out my Plan With Me video where I make my own reading journal basically and start planning out my content calendar, my TBR, which is what this video is about, and some other ways I want to track my reading for 2022. Also, I'm on all the social media channels like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. So today we are doing my January TBR. So I got super excited in the month of December. So it is now December 10th and I'm filming this because I just like to plan ahead. I like knowing what I want to read for the upcoming month and just having my bookshelf sorted out since I have a huge stack on the floor that I'm trying to fit into my bookshelf. So by pulling books out for my TBR, I have space. Granted, I still have 3 stacks of books still on the floor, but that pile is slowly dwindling as I'm hoping for next year to be able to fit all of my books on the shelves that I have and not need to buy any more or anything like that. So while I was looking for reading challenges, I thought I'd go back to one that I really enjoyed and only done once. And I didn't really look too hard for any January themed TBRs since I've done the past few months. I've done the Bookopoly and then I did Nonfiction November and now I'm doing Reindeer Readathon. So I thought I'd go back to something else and not try to throw too many new things in terms of reading challenges out. But this one's still fun. It randomizes my TBR a little bit more and makes it more fun, and I guess like it is a challenge really to pick out the books, not just to read them, but to pick out ones that are based on a prompt. So what I'm doing is the Becca's Bookopoly. So I started this back in September when I think Becca from her channel on YouTube had dedicated a whole month to Bookopoly. So she does this all year round for the most part, but it was like a dedicated reading challenge for open up to a lot of people for September. So they had the board to print out on your own. They have these different like playing cards that you pick up. So this is the chance card where you write specific books on the back of it. And then we have the community shelf, which is more like more prompts or themes that you don't find on the card. So I have all the rules pulled up. I will link those down below if you want to do that for the month of January or just want to see kind of more about it. But basically you start off with how many rolls you want to do. It's not like an actual Monopoly game where you have to like get money or build properties or anything like that. You're just hitting different spaces on the board and you can go around as many times as you want, all that kind of stuff. So I'm initially starting out with 5 rolls. So the thing about that is you can start with 5 and have 5 books, but if you land with a double on the dice, you have to go again and pick another book. So that's not included in the 5, it'll be extra. The last time I did this, I had, I think, 1 double, I believe, and then I think I just ended up with 6 books. So we'll see what happens this time. So yes, that I think is pretty much the rules. I mean, pretty much if you don't find a book based off the square or the place you land on the board, then you roll again, and I think you have to do it twice if I remember correctly. But again, I'll link the rules. Like hopefully that doesn't need to happen. I have enough books to fill for these prompts on my shelves already. Like my goal is to read books that are on my shelves and I don't need to borrow. As always, for my TBRs, I'm usually reading audiobooks at the same time. And now that I have an ebook or an e-reader, I can probably read some on there as well and see what's free from the library and do that too. But for the most part, the prompts that I'm landing on will be books that I own. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first one I landed on was TBR Game, and that is I need to find a TBR on like some other booktuber's channel or like a TBR I have done before, like a game that I look for the prompts and try to like match that. So I'm gonna go with Book's Nest. So Beth at Book's Nest does Fictionary. I think this was their first Fictionary that she did, and I am going to pick one where the title contains a color. So I'm going to do Black Girls Must Die Exhausted by Jayne Allen. So this was sent to me as a giveaway winner from Harper Perennial. This came out in August, so relatively still new. And yeah, I think this is like a contemporary novel or romance novel where I believe this woman, she has the plan to have it all and goes through like a checklist, but there's some things on there that maybe she wasn't expecting, or like life comes and throws curveballs your way, and like how does she deal with that? And I'm guessing it has to do a lot with like being a Black woman and how that affects what those goals are as you're trying to have it all. Oh my gosh. Really? Oh, that means I need to roll again, and that doesn't count as my like 3rd through 5th rolls. It landed on Who? Question mark. So that is a book that you don't really know too much about, or you haven't really seen too much on any like social media channels, or nobody seems to be really talking about. So I went with The Most Fun We Ever Had by Claire Lombardo. This, I honestly have not seen this anywhere besides the bookstore where I picked it up. I picked it up at the Bookshelf. I believe it was on like a anti-Prime Day or like trying to support independent bookstores on a day that is usually pretty heavily geared towards Amazon. So I went to the Bookshelf, which is just a neighborhood in the neighborhood of Cincinnati, and picked this up, and then another book I can't remember. Oh, I got The Song of Achilles as well. So I got like a popular book and then a book I hadn't really heard of. So this I think has to do with this couple, this married couple who has 4 kids, and they see the 4 daughters, and then they see them kind of go in different directions. And like I think it follows each of the daughters and then the parents as well. So nice like family, maybe drama, not really sure, but I just like the cover too. I like looking at people's houses even when I go on runs, not just with like the Christmas lights and everything right now, but just looking at like, ooh, I want that kind of deck, or I want a Victorian like tower and things like that. So yes, this cover definitely added to the reason why I bought it. So yes, I also got a double roll on that one, so I'm rolling again for the double. Oh my god. Another double? I don't think, I mean, like, clearly I've only done this once before, but I didn't know that was possible, so I have 2 double rolls. Ugh. Okay, the first one of the double roll landed on history. So this is like historical fiction or anything based off of a true story or something like that. I'm going with The Marriage of Opposites by Alice Hoffman, and I've read Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman. I haven't read any of the rest of the Magic series, and this I believe this is part of my birthday haul at the Cincy Library Friends, and this is about this marriage where I think this woman marries young, but then I think she has an affair, or maybe she marries somebody that like the royals or like the family doesn't approve of, and kind of going through that. But I just like the cover too, it's very stunning. Okay, good. It's not another double after that. So this landed on Cute, a book that has like cute vibes or something like lighthearted and warm potentially, or like a light colored, pastel colored cover. So I'm going with The Bookshop of Second Chances by Jackie Fraser. And this just looks like so warm and inviting. I think there's been a lot of controversy on this cover because somebody apparently took a picture of like something very similar, and then this book comes out using like more animated or like a drawing of that picture without giving it credit. I don't know if that's true or not, but I saw it and I was like kind of on a fence, but I do want to read it because it looks like a charming story, and it's a book about books, especially like a bookshop, and me being really proud of independent bookstores and being a big supporter of them. So hopefully that can help turn it around a little bit. Okay, now we're on the 3rd, technically 5th book, but the 3rd in my start out rolls. Okay, Steal a Book. This is where you look at another TBR from like other Bookopoly-thons or other TBR games and use one of the books that somebody else picked out for their TBR. So I'm going back again to Beth at Book's Nest Fictionary, and I picked out, I can't remember, the prompt was a book set somewhere where I have been. So I haven't been here, but this is where Beth is from. So I picked out The Little Shop of Found Things. I think this is this a book about books? Maybe not. I think it's an antique store, but it's by Paula Brackston. And I remember when Beth did her review of this, she didn't really give it high marks. I think because what she found exciting was the setting that it was in, but looking at the book itself wasn't really, like the plot wasn't as strong as it could be. But I don't know, I'm still gonna give it a chance because it looks kind of fun, and I don't know, I think it's about like a small business as well, which is also a part of like shopping local, shopping small, and all of that. So there you go. Okay, roll number 4. So, disability and mental health. So some kind of representation of somebody that has a disability or it's about mental health. So I'm going with Anxious People by Fredrik Backman. Fredrik Backman is like one of my favorite authors, like loved Britt Marie Was Here, loved A Man Called Ova. A lot of his books are amazing. So this, I think, has to do with a kidnapping or like a holdup in a store or something. So yeah, I think this is also getting turned into a TV show, if I remember. So this came out apparently last September. Really? I thought this was sooner. I thought this was in 2021, but no, apparently this was September of 2020. Did not know. So yeah, I also like the covers of Fredrik Backman's book. They're very simple, minimalist. I think they always have the back of somebody. They don't have a face. So I think that's kind of cool to add to the, like, this could be anybody kind of thing, and to like use your own imagination, which is great. Okay. Last official roll. Let's hope it's not a double. All right, lowest rated. I had a hard time with this one. The last time I did this, I read The Balcony of Fog, which was, I think I gave it a 2 generously, maybe a 1.5. And it was a quicker book. I read it in a day, but it was pretty painful. So this makes me a little bit nervous. So this is lowest rated on my current TBR, like what's on my shelves. Granted, I haven't put all of my newer hauled books in my owned shelf on like Goodreads and Storygraph. So I'm just going off of what was in there previously. And that lowest rated book was Paris by the Book by Liam Callanan. And this was rated a 3.13, which isn't terrible. But I mean, if I look at ratings, I usually go for maybe like a 3.75 or higher. So in that regard, it is kind of low. But yeah, another book about books. Like, I know that sounds terrible that it's already rated pretty low. So how could it be that bad? Like, it's a book about books. But you never know. So yeah, I don't know too much about this one either. Except it's a book about books in Paris, and it's about an eccentric novelist. So there you go. Okay, so I ended up with 7 books. And yeah, that's a pretty, I say it's a successful Bookopoly playing. And then I guess if I finish these in the month of January, I will roll again from the lowest rated square and see where I land. Or I did have some books I wanted to read this month. I tried to cram them in there. Like, I definitely wanted to read The Marriage of Opposites. I was trying also to read The Moonflower Murders, which is the sequel to Magpie Murders by Anthony Horowitz. And then I also wanted to read The 10,000 Doors of January by Alix Harrow. So we'll see if that gets put in there somewhere at the end of the month. But yeah, that was exciting. Yeah, let me know in the comments below what you're planning to read for the month of January, or if you read any of these books. And yes, this is, I think this is the last vlog or video of 2021. So thank you so much for joining me on this journey for the year 2021. If you haven't seen any of the other videos this year, I encourage you to go back, but I have some exciting videos coming in 2022. Some more, not necessarily like about me, but more in-depth kind of Q&As, or like kind of how I go about doing this blog thing, and just some other creative things besides my usual like TBRs and wrap-ups, and maybe some reading vlogs that are more intentional, and some reading sprints. So yeah, I'm excited to delve more into producing videos and editing them and adding some more pizzazz so they're a little bit more engaging. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Feel free to subscribe or hit the notification bell to know when I post next, usually once a week, typically on Mondays, but who knows, in the new year it might be a little bit different. Not sure. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day and happy reading.